Hello everyone, so welcome back, and this is the continuation of the part 1 vectors. So today we are going to just see the hands-on of all the methods that we learned in the previous video. So if you have not seen that video, just go back. I'll put the link in the description. Watch that video and then come here. So I've already explained all the functions, but just want to give you a little idea so that you get comfortable on using the vector. Okay, so let's get started. First, I am just showing you in the Geeks ID right now so that I can just get the link of whatever code I'm trying here and put it in the description so you can see whatever I'm doing here. So as header, you can as I already told you, you can for vector you can just include hashtag include vector, but what I usually prefer is to add this library so that you don't need to worry about anything later on, like even if you're adding n number of things afterwards, it is all there, all the containers, iterators, algorithms. So let's get started. I'll just define a vector int sevi. So right now I will create an empty vector. So how we can just see what vector it has created. Let's just try to print the size of this vector. Okay. See, right now it is 0. That means it has created an empty vector. So if you remember the previous video, we have two things, right? Size and capacity. Capacity tells you whatever the total reserved spaces are there. So let's just try to print the capacity as well and see whether it really a null vector or empty vector, or does it has some spaces. Size just tells you what all number of elements are there, for example what elements you have added. So ideally the capacity should also come out to be 0 because the initialization just creates an empty vector. Yeah, you can see this, right? Now let's just try to add something here, right? Let's try to push back an element and then try to print the size and capacity. So I'll just push back the element 5. So now the size should come out to be 1 because we have already added one element. So now let's just see. So now the size and capacity is 1. If you remember that I told you that whenever you add a new element, and if the capacity is full, then it will double the size. For example, if you have 3 elements in the vector and after that you want to add one more, it will not bring the capacity to 4, but it will bring the capacity to 3. So let's just test it out. So for that, what we'll do is we'll just initialize this vector. Okay, let's just remove this, and now let's try to see what is the size and capacity. So because you are initializing it, initially it should be the same. So let's just try to see. See, right now the capacity and size both are 3. Now if you try to push back an element, what should be there? Initial capacity and size, right? Size and capacity. Let's just try to push back this element. So what we'll do is just copy this and paste it here. Sorry. Okay, let's just do push back 5. So now for sure our size will become 4 because we are adding one more element. But the interesting thing to notice here is what will be the capacity. Okay, let's just try to see. So as per the discussion in the previous video, it should come out to be 6, but let's see. See, we were right. Now it is 6. Why this happened? Because initially we initialized this vector with 3 elements, okay, but now when we did this pushback, this vector was full. So instead of just adding one space and adding this element, what it did is it doubled the size of the vector. That means the vector of 3 became 6, and then it added one element at this position, right? So let's just add new line here. Okay, so this is related to pushback. Now just try to remember that apart from pushback, we also had one adding function, which was insert. So pushback always adds it to the last, but insert adds it to the position that you are giving. So now let's just try to do v dot insert, and what we in the first placeholder we gave the position. So let's just try to give v dot begin plus 1. That means it will add it to the second position here after 1, and then we need to give the element. So let's just give 7, okay, and after that if you try to print this size, right, or let's just do one thing, let's just try to print the whole vector. So now you'll understand that how this this works, the printing of vector. So this is v dot size. So size will give you, we already saw, right, whatever the number of elements are there, then I plus plus. So the printing is pretty similar as you do an array. We'll just do v of I, and let's just give a space and add a new line, okay. So don't worry, I'll share this whatever code we are doing here, right, I'll just add some comments and share it with you guys so that you can try it yourself. And even if you're watching it and you want to pause and try these things side by side, please feel free to do that as well, so you'll understand these things. Because when I was learning STL, all I saw was just theory videos or theory blogs, but this when you get the hang of basically using all these things, when you use it. So yeah. Okay, see, we gave v dot begin plus 1, so it has added here as we expected. So after this, if you again try to print the capacity, right, it will still be 6, because we the size will be increased to 5, but the capacity will still be 6. So what else? Yeah, so insert we have tried, right. Now another is push pop back. So pop back will delete last element. So what array we had, what vector we had right now, 1 7 2 3 5. So if we do pop back, it will just delete the last element. So 5 should be ideally deleted. So let's try to do that. V dot pop back. Okay, so it does not have any parameter that you need to give inside that. So let's just try that. See, the 5 last fifth element is deleted. Okay, so we have seen insert in inserting the element in the vector. We saw pushback, and then we saw insert. In deleting we have pop back, and we also have a erase. So erase acts similar to insert, where you can give the position. So if you, let's just try to give the same thing, okay. Yeah, so this will be erase, and you just need to give the position. So we added 7 in that position, right, second position. So if this works properly, it should delete the 7. So our vector should become 1 2 3. So let's just try and run it and see. Yeah, so it works. Then what else we tried? Okay, let's just try to clear and see. So clear will, this is also another type of erasing the elements, but what it does is it all it like clears everything. It makes this entire vector empty. So it will be really interesting to actually see the size and capacity as well, whether it just clears the element or it actually makes the this vector empty after clear. Okay, clear. Let's just try to see now. See, so this is interesting. See, after clear, it cleaned up the vector, but it didn't reduce its capacity to 0. So you can see that, so basically if you have 6 places, it will just put, remove all the elements, but it will not reduce its capacity to 0. So this is something interesting. So if you remember, I already also told you one function that was that actually after you are done with all your operation, whatever redundant capacities you have, you can just make that go away. So what we saw, v dot shrink to fit, right? So here you can see that it is unnecessarily holding 6 spaces, and what if you don't need this vector after this? So let's just try to add that after shrink. So in this case, actually all the elements are not there, so it should ideally reduce it to 0 capacity. But what if for example, out of 6 places are 2 spaces was filled, so it will just remove the last 4 unfilled spaces. So let's just see, let's just call that v dot shrink to fit. Okay, and let's just again try to print this. See, now it has become 0 0. So this is actually a good practice when you are using or working with the large vectors. For example, suppose you had a vector of 1000, okay, and then you try to add one more element, it will become 2000, but you just after that you don't need to do any task. So your 999 spaces will be just redundant, just unnecessarily you are capturing that storage. So it's always good to just have this option. What else? Then yeah, we also had one function to actually check whether two vectors are same or not. So I have defined two vectors here. So what we'll do is, let's just do it here as well. Just starting, check if v is equal to v1. Okay, so what we'll do is, this is pretty simple as you are comparing two variables, right? So if v equal to v1, see out, both vectors are equal. Okay, please ignore if any typos I am making. I just want to cover as much as I can. Not equal. Okay, let's just try to run. Okay, I think I did some mistake. Okay, I forgot this. Yeah. So you can see that gave both the vectors are equal. So I think I gave a pretty brief idea on how to use these functions. You can also check out the previous videos, and if I have missed any of the functions, you can just try it out yourself. Also, I'll link down some of the resources, and I'll just create a URL out of it and just link it below, so you can have a look. Please try it and let me know if you have any questions.